I've been a member of LegalMatch now for over 5 years. When I first heard about them, I won't say I knew a lot about them. I've had a few other lead services before, none of which have been nearly as comprehensive or as good of quality as LegalMatch. And I think initially what drew me to it was I remember the individual I was speaking to, LegalMatch representative, showed me that basically the type of cases. And I saw almost immediately that there were numerous cases that would be the type of cases I would, in theory, wish to pursue, complex business litigation, cases that often have complex legal issues and potentially a significant amount of money at stake. And so I basically talked to a few other people who had heard of the service and had some good feedback from that. And then when I joined LegalMatch, I found fairly quickly that those type of cases were real and were fairly frequent, and that I have had fairly good success in getting those type of cases. So that is initially what attracted me to LegalMatch, that I thought the type of cases that seemed to be promoted on their links to me were in fact the type of practice that I wanted to be involved in. Absolutely. And I've done that several times before to lawyers who have been asking about it. I've had, I would say, a high level of success with LegalMatch, both in the quality of leads they provide and in my ability to turn those leads into active and productive cases. The system itself, the ability to interact with clients, to contact clients, is straightforward and simple, easy to understand. The contact information is immediately provided, unless the client doesn't wish it to be provided. But 9 times out of 10, when you respond, you're going to have a client's contact information, and it's relatively easy to get in touch with them, which I have found is actually somewhat different than other lead services, which sometimes kind of screen you from the client and make it a bit more difficult, or at least a bit more time consuming to have direct interaction with the clients. I really appreciate that about LegalMatch. It certainly brought in a significant amount of additional revenue, gotten dozens and dozens of very good cases, lucrative cases where I'm proud to represent the client over many years. And one thing that people don't necessarily think about is that oftentimes these lead to repeat business. I've had numerous good clients that I've gotten through LegalMatch who have either used me at subsequent times or have referred me to other business. I even had a case where I represented one client zealously, and there was multiple co-defendants. And when the case was over, one of the co-defendants, who I had very little interaction with, my client didn't really have anything to do with that co-defendant, but that co-defendant said, "Wow, I really liked what you did. Will you represent me on some completely different matter?" There was no conflict. The case was over. There was no conflict with my client. So I was actually able to get business that way. It's a very valuable supplement to my practice, LegalMatch. It provides me with, over the years, I think, a fairly consistent lead stream of good cases. Obviously, any service, I won't say every single case is a good case, but the vast majority of them are that I respond to. And of course, not every case I respond to ends up being a case. Sometimes other attorneys get them. Sometimes the client resolves the matter on their own. But I've been overall very, very satisfied with the type of cases, the type of clients, and the results that I've received with LegalMatch over the years. Well, I would definitely encourage them. I think it's always good to jump in. I mean, even now during this, I guess you'd call economic downturn and pandemic, I mean, I still see fairly consistently good cases coming in. What I would tell someone who's just starting up is make it easy for yourself. Develop a template, at least one, maybe two, that you can use instead of typing out a different response every time to a client. If you want to maximize your time, type out a template, a very thoughtful, well thought out template that you can edit and tailor according to each client's particular questions. But that way, instead of each time you respond taking half an hour, you'll cut down half of that time because you'll have a template that you can edit and send. My next piece of advice would be, once you send, if that client provides you with an email and phone number, My experience has been best to send an email first. Tell them that you've responded on a LegalMatch, ask them to look at it. If there's any maybe pertinent questions or something you really want to know the answer to, like you need to see a contract or a document they reference, maybe do that. That way they've got both your legal response and they've got a separate email from you. Then I wait anywhere, if I'm assuming, this is if the client doesn't ask for a consultation time or hasn't set up times. If there's no consultation time that they ask for, I wait for anywhere from 8 hours to maybe 24 hours. If I don't hear back by email, then I follow up with a phone call. And sometimes, it all depends. If I think, wow, this is a really good case, I might follow up with a phone call an hour later. Now, another piece of advice I'd give is if your prospective client provides times, get a time that works with you as quickly as possible. And you should keep in mind that there are other lawyers that are also looking for that client as well. So the faster you can get that first contact with the client and get a substantive conversation, the better. So, and of course, if you set a time with your client, don't forget about it, mark it on your calendar, be prompt, be ahead of time, don't be late. Most of the time, the clients have legitimate cases, legitimate concerns, and they want to know that you are interested in their case and are prompt and are ready to advise them. And that's your chance to make a good first impression. So make sure you follow up on your commitment as to when you speak with them and being prepared, as much as you can be, know as much as you can. I think clients are often impressed if you look at an issue and you say, I'm pretty sure this is where this is going. I may already have either some research or some advice I can give them. If you can go into the call with that bit of advice, and of course also listen to their specific facts that they're bringing, that is very helpful for you being able to develop trust with that client and ultimately to land that client and to engage with them. I would say anywhere from maybe 8 to 12 referrals a week of cases. Now I'm seeing maybe 5 or 6, but it really does vary. It would be difficult for me to say for sure. I'd have to look back, but there's very, very infrequently where there'll be a week go by where you're not seeing at least several cases and often more than 10 cases per week. Even now during the pandemic, I think just today I saw 2 or 3 cases come across. So it's unlikely you will go long without seeing referrals come through for you. When I think about the time commitment that it takes for me to respond to those clients and to talk to them and how much money I've made over year by year, it's absolutely worth it. Even if you're just turning over 25% or a third or more than that. If you get one good case that generates tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars of revenue, it's absolutely worth it. And I've seen those type of cases before. In the 5 years I've been with LegalMatch, I would say it's probably averaged at least $50,000 of additional revenue for me per year. It might be a little different this year with the pandemic. It's a tough year for everyone, but even this year, it's generated a substantial amount of money. Oh, they've been great. One thing I do appreciate much is they are quite consistent in reaching out and asking if there's any issues they can resolve or if there's anything that we need. I get fairly frequent emails or phone calls, and they're always fully accessible. Honestly, the system's set up so simply and such a straightforward manner. There's not a whole lot of customer maintenance that I've needed over the years, but a couple times I've had a few little odds and ends that I've asked customer service to resolve, and they've been right on it. They've been very prompt and responsive. I've had good results with all the account managers and customer service reps I've spoken with over the years with LegalMatch. I've never seen any service that matches LegalMatch, both in the quality of leads, the ability to get cases that are good, interesting cases that generate a significant amount of revenue. And the system is just so easy to use. There may be other services out there that are similar, but what I've seen is LegalMatch is head and shoulders above other lead services and just the ease of using it and how quickly and simply you can access clients. And as long as you, as an attorney, are motivated and respond quickly and follow up quickly, there's no reason why LegalMatch can't pay for itself many times over in a year, as long as you are motivated and work hard at it. And I've found very good results.